Yes. Why religion don't make sense? If you truly believe in the church, as I don't want to know. If you really believe in the mosque, me I don't want to know. If you believe in the pastors, as I don't want to know. If you believe in the imam.
Okay, I think that last we are able to manipulate something and get YouTube to join live. So if you are watching on YouTube, say hi. We just started this live broadcast, even though we weren't able to get YouTube to join us immediately we started, but we haven't even said anything yet. But then the two major highlights we have. Okay, thank you for signifying, those of you joining from Facebook. From YouTube, I beg your pardon. So two significant points that we are raising, questions that are rising on tonight, include: one, pastors who are living in droves from the RCCG, and number two, a recent threat released by or issued by Bishop or presiding bishop of the Living Faith Tabernacle, also known as the Winners Chapel, Bishop David Oyedepo. And I want to start by playing a clip. The clip is on Pastor Odutola, who I understand is the latest pastor who has just left the Redeemed Christian Church of God. He gave the reason, and the reason is exactly the reason I also want to discuss this topic. But before I give my own talk on it, I like all of us to see the video quickly together. And then I'll come back and we'll take it from there. Please pay attention, and then we'll take it from there.
Yeah, they wrote another letter saying, now that you have not signed for 1 year, you are no longer part of RCCG. So in April this year, I resigned, and just as Baltimore resigned from the organization RCCG North America and RCCG all over the world. So from today, this in fact is our first Sunday as an independent church, not under any organization. It's okay, let's be seated. Thank you. I want you to know that this was not a decision that I take lightly. I have served in this church for 30 years. 30 years that cannot be taken back. Because if you add 30 years to my age, I'll be 91. I served for 30 years with nothing from any organization to say, you have done well. But I know that God is a rewarder. God is a rewarder. Praise God. Let's be seated. I know there will be many people out there who probably you are disappointed by my decision. I apologize. But we are not going back. Amen? I know after this decision, it's not likely that I will be demonized on social media. It's okay. The only thing I ask of you, don't bring those reports to me. Because I want to focus on the job that God has given me. You want to fight it on your own, it's okay. As a good child, when somebody abuses your father, it's okay for you to fight. But I just don't want to be distracted. And I want you also to know one thing. I have made up my mind, I will not throw stones. Because I helped build that church for 30 years. I will not throw stones. last time I'm going to talk about this. We are going to move on with life. Is anybody hearing me? And I want you to know that my destiny, your destiny, is not in anybody's hands. It's in the hand of God.
Okay. So let's start. This particular, I am not here to defend that pastor leaving the church. Neither am I here to say anyone is guilty or not guilty. I am not here to also say Pastor Adeboye is bad or the RCCG is no longer the Church of God. I'm here for one simple reason, that humanity continues to get trampled upon while we continue to emphasize religion and religiosity, piety. We do all of this at the risk of trampling on humanity. As a result, we now have multiplicity and duplicity. Multiple churches, denominations, and religions springing up from rebellion against the wrongs of the existing church. And we continue to affect humanity by doing all of this. How do I mean? We now have how many denominations altogether as we speak? And that man is already springing out of Redeem, but he's not the first. The pastor alleged that he has spent 30 years in Redeemed Christian Church of God, and the church is now looking for a way to continue to show that they are not existing for the salvation of the people, but for the business essence of everything. Some of you who have been following this channel for a while will recall that there was a time I already said that I was an assistant pastor in the Redeemed Christian Church of God also before I left. Similar things like this, that I questioned myself. Are these supposed to be about salvation or about certain businesses or business interests in the church oligarchy or the church hierarchy or the church organogram? I recall how some parishes will be closed because they are said to be non-viable. If they establish a new parish and after a while they feel it is not viable, the church is at the risk of being closed down. And that pastor is likely to be transferred to another place or another location far from his workplace. As a result, I recall some pastors were always indulging in certain practices. Okay? The practice includes that the pastor will be using his own salary to impress the headquarters that his parish is doing fine so that they won't close it down. That is to the detriment or at the detriment of his own family doing well. You now cut your salary and inflate the figure or number of people who are attending or attendance in your church by the time you want to submit report at the headquarters. And because you cannot write number of people attending your church to be high and not bring commensurate offering and tithes, the pastors usually boost it with their own money to impress the headquarters. I'll quickly tell the story here, which is similar to what this pastor Odutola just said. There was a pastor when I was in Songwater, in Ota, Yanoyesi area. There were so many ministers in the church at the time. I'm talking about Ogun Province 3. Those of you that are familiar with Ogun Province 3 is Ewupe, and I belong to an area headquarters called Miracle Center. As of the time, there were ministers who were not promoted to the position of pastor, or they were not ordained. That's the language. They were still regular ministers. Some were lucky to be promoted to be deacons, but they were not promoted or transferred to go and head a parish. Suddenly, one man joined as of that time. Now, I'm not saying, I don't know whether that practice has changed, but that was the issue as of the time. Now, somebody came and joined the church. He was a rich man. He had money. Rich in the context that he was able to afford things. So I won't know how rich. But I knew compared to the rest of us he came to meet in the church, he was rich. So when he was transferred, when the time came when they wanted to plant new parish during buoy fishing, and the man was transferred and rapidly promoted and ordained as a pastor. He wasn't even yet ordained, but was already transferred to go and start a new parish. I don't know whatever arrangement made that happen, but he was transferred. The new place they transferred him to, in less than 3 months, he already bought land, started building the church, and he completed it. And they called it Mega Parish. That parish was close to Yanoyesi in Ota of Ogun State. After he completed the church, they then wanted to transfer him immediately he was done. The pastor then said he's sorry. He's not going to leave all this sweat to want to go and start all over again at another place. Because they came from the headquarters and said that they have identified him, that his own contribution to the mission and ministry is that God has identified him as a builder. That he was going to be building for the missionaries and for the church. And then the pastor said he was so sorry, he would not leave this one to go and start all over again, that he knew what he faced before he could do this one. So you cannot ask him to leave this property now for the Redeemed Christian Church of God to now go and start another building all over again somewhere else. He wasn't comfortable with that arrangement. After they dragged it forth and back, they said it is instruction from above. The man then said, well, if that is how you want to have it, I think I want to dismember my church or deregister it from the Redeemed Christian Church of God. I built it. Somebody says they know the church. Okay. This person will definitely know it because they can show me was there. He was under the same He was, so that validates the story. The man then said he was so sorry he would not leave the building for Redeemed Christian Church of God. He would rather prefer to deregister it from Redeemed Christian Church of God and give it a new name and continue to parish his own church. To continue to be the pastor over his own church that he built with his own money. That was the end as I knew it then. Whatever happened afterwards, I don't know. I've not been to that place after then. So I don't, but that is a similar story to what Pastor Odutola is saying in that clip we just saw. What is the point I'm trying to bring out of here? It is not the first time. We have seen many people say they served the church, and Pastor Adeboye, the moment he sees that you are doing well, tries to exert some control and take everything over from you and push you to another place to go and start all over again. I also remember that there was a time it was alleged that at certain national workers' meeting at the campground, among top ministers in the church, some rose and said, Pastor Adeboye, dear Daddy Gio, you are retiring your AGOs, Assistant General Overseers. Some of them are even younger than you. And you are retiring them. How about you, sir? When are you going to retire? And Pastor Adeboye had declared to them that he had a covenant with God to serve till he dies in that position, and he's not going to retire. And I remember that statement angered most of them who knew that they were also fated for retirement soon, that they were also going to be retired soon, by force, compulsory retirement. So some of them decided, okay, instead of retiring and becoming useless, we would rather want to pull out. So we want to go and start our own church. We learned that it settled most of them to go and start their own parishes or new churches outside of Redeem. I won't know But I learned that Tony Rapu, I didn't confirm whether it was about the same time Pastor Tony Rapu left. But people like Tony Rapu and the rest of them, we are alleged to have left about the same time as a result of that particular crisis. I also remember that Pastor Tunde Bakari was said to have been the one who started the model parish in Redeemed Christian Church of God, but also left for whatever reason. That said, the point I am here to make at the end of all this analysis is that I am not a prophet, but I can already begin to foresee that if Pastor Oyedepo does not make arrangements for easy transition to a new GO before his demise, I'm not praying for him to die, but we are all human beings. Whether you liked it or not, the founder of CAC, Ayo Babalola, is now late, of blessed memory, meaning that it is a definite end of every human. Whether you like it or not, the founder of RCCG is not Pastor Oyedepo. The founder of RCCG was Pa Akindayomi. He is also now late. Pastor Oyedepo is apparently, obviously already growing old. And he needs to already begin to make arrangements and preparations for easy transition to a new GO. Because if all of this are already happening while he's still around, you can already almost easily predict what will happen if he is no longer there tomorrow to supervise easy transition to a new GO, because there will be crisis. It happened in CAC. Anyways, that is just to nudge people to say, well, I am not here to criticize Adeboye or to say he's not doing well. As far as that empire is concerned, Baba is trying. But then what is of interest to us is that we don't want to continue to see people springing or fighting one another. In fact, Christians are so dangerous. That's another important thing. People will almost kill themselves because of the position. If Adeboye does not arrange properly while he's still around to supervise easy transition to a new GO, a word is enough. I'm too young to advise Pastor Adeboye, maybe, but ọmọdé gbọ́n, àgbà gbọ́n, no fit tú ilé Ifẹ̀ o. I won't say more than that for now. And then I move on to the next. Gentlemen and ladies, but for the fact that some of us read the Bible, we would have hated the Christ and not believe him or believe in the mission he came for. Thank God we were privileged to have also read the Bible by ourselves. After reading the Bible, I came to the conclusion that I actually love Christ and the mission he came for. But I am not sure that these Christians are doing the same thing or about the same thing Jesus Christ came for. In other words, I love the Christ, but I do not understand Christianity. Jesus never obtained people by collecting tithes from them. And if the meaning of Christianity is supposed to be being Christ-like, then something is totally wrong with what people are practicing today as Christianity. I totally do not understand it. It's confusing. If you want to be like Christ, you don't enforce this kind of doctrines on people that if they don't pay tithes, we have also heard it in the past that they will not make heaven. Now it is that they are under financial curse. Then the questions began to emerge because we have read so many debates or reactions to it that trade it on social media. The first, financial curse means people are supposed to be financially prosperous so long as they pay tithe. Am I correct? Now, the richest in the world who are not under financial curse do not even pay tithe. China, one of the emerging best economies in the world as we have it today, shut its border against Christianity and the bishops. And China is prosperous and prospering. Bill Gates are not even aware as any religion. I think he's even a complete atheist. Dangote does not even go to church. Yet the people paying the tithe are the ones under financial cross because they are the poorest of the poor. Nigeria pays tithes and we are the poverty capital of the world. Why is Bishop David Oyedepo using scare tactic to compulse people and force people to pay in tithe, especially at a time like this, when people are broke due to pandemic threatening their economies of the world? And the bishops are using threats of they will not make heaven, threats of they will be under financial curse, as if they have not always been, even despite paying tithes, that they will be under tithes. They will be under, things will be tight and difficult for them if they do not pay him tithes. Excuse me, can we already begin to ask these bishops, when will they too start paying tithe back to these people? If we distribute wealth and help wealth to go round to people by not having it lopsided in just one bishop and one GO, do you not think that most of the things we pray about, we will not have to pray about it because they are not even spiritual problems in the first place? They are completely physical problems that are human, that are created by the humans. Humans like this. Let me also remind you that not all Yahoo boys carry laptop. Some carry Bible. In fact, Olamide is disrespectful by rushing to create YBNL, Yahoo Boy No Laptop. There are progenitors of the YBNL already from the pulpits. They don't carry laptop, they carry Bible, and they are doing serious Yahoo. So Olamide is not the real Yahoo Boy No Laptop. The bishops and the GOs are the real Yahoo Boys No Laptop. Using scare tactic to obtain fraudulently from people under the guise of religion. I have not seen anywhere that the Bible, that Jesus Christ said out of compulsion that people must pay tithes, and that if they do not pay, that problems will happen to them. Let us even go all the way back to the book of Deuteronomy. The administration and enforcement of tithing itself. First, it's not even supposed to be every month. Second, you are not even supposed to be under any obligation if you are owing or if you are broke. The Bible says you should tithe your increase. 10% of thy increase is what they call tithes. Not 10% of when you are broke. And it is even not supposed to be monthly. And you are asking people to bring their tithe every month, 10% of even when they are broke and owing. Some of them took loans that they have not finished paying. I'm not a Muslim, but I'm aware, for instance, like I have a Muslim friend who told me that in their own system and practice, that you don't even pay it if you are owing. If you are a debtor, for instance, you are owing somebody, or your business took loan and you are still servicing the loan, you are not qualified to even pay that tithe. You're not qualified. Small time you go on the pulpit and be alleging that they are trying to Islamize everybody. Your Muslim counterparts are busy giving loans to their people, to their members, interest-free loans. You are not willing to do anything other than to obtain from them. Now, if I convert to Islam because I see that the policies and the principles under their own religious practice is attractive, is fair, is human, you will now come back and accuse that they are using me. But something attracted me in the first place to that religion. Interest-free loan makes a lot of sense to me, for instance, to help their members, to help their people, to remove as many as they can out of poverty. Little wonder, Muslims are actually richer than Christians. Yeah, the few Christians that are able to manipulate people and make money, they are boisterous, they are lousy. But they are actually not rich as that. The Muslims are richer. They help one another. But the bishops only want to obtain from you. As if they don't even believe in the heaven they preach. Because if they believe so much in the heavens they preach, they will not be here trying to get everything they can before they die. Stifling people. It is so annoying. Thank God we knew Jesus by reading about him by ourselves. If I did not read about Jesus by myself, I will hate Christianity. These are the kinds of people, the YBNLs, the church YBNLs, religious YBNLs, that are bringing reproach to the name of Christ. Must you force people to pay? At a time when you are even supposed to be the one reaching out to them to check on them, to see how they are doing in a time like this, a time where recession is actually threatening. Recession is already threatening. It's imminent. People are broke and you are still threatening them to bring the last from their purse. Gentlemen and ladies, I don't really want to talk for too much. I don't want to talk too much because people will think I'm just angry about the pastors and bishops. I'm not. But it's annoying. And let me tell you one of the reasons I decided to do this. There was a time he needed money. He wanted to do something on his farm. He needed to clear the farm for the raining season, and he needed to pay some guys to clear the farm, and he needed to also buy some seedlings and plants or some crops or whatever you call them. I'm not a farmer, although I'm proposing to start one soon too. Maybe one of these days, if I have the opportunity, I'll also start a small thing. Then I sent him money. And I was expecting him to at least give me feedback. But okay, we started it. This is the update. This is the process. This is the progress. Only for me to visit the village one day. And I saw my dad. I had gone to give testimony in church. Not only did he give testimony, he also paid tithe out of the money I gave to him for his farm. Because he had been feeling guilty that he had not paid tithe for a while. I sent you money to go and do your farm. You went to cut 10% out of that money to go and pay tithes and offering, and you did testimony. Is this money supposed to be a capital for a business? That terrible it has been. So sometimes when I talk, it's not as if I'm just talking because, like somebody was asking me on Facebook yesterday, did they ask you to pay? No, they have not asked me to pay because they can't even ask me to pay them. I give to the needy, I don't give to the greedy. But can you hear me, everybody? Somebody says the audio has gone down. Okay, let me increase my volume, my own voice. Excuse me. My own family, people in our families, and I'm sure that a lot of you can also relate with this. You may not be the one paying, but you have people in your family who are being manipulated. So each time you try to help your family members, they are manipulating them. They are manipulating them to come and pay. Imagine you give money to somebody in your family to go and do something, and the person is cutting the money, having not yet done what you asked them to go and do with the money. They are cutting the money to go and pay a bishop and a GO. So it's not about whether I have been defrauded, but it's about the fact that people close to me, thank you so much for confirming the audio, people around me are being manipulated and I'm the one paying. Because you manipulate them. That is obtaining by false pretense. The same charges for which they knock people and sentence people in courts. Obtaining by false pretense, under the pretense that God sent you to come and collect it on his behalf. Using threats like this. Of course. That is some kind of scare tactic to deceive people, to manipulate them, to threaten them, to scare them, so that they can rush forward to pay you. Can you imagine? So, most of the people who are paying tithes do not even have income. But out of fear from tweets like this, they'll start looking for any money to go and pay. Because their bishop must not be broke. It's a sin. Oh my God. So we need to start reorientating people. Reason I decided to start going out to training institutes, to business places, to where young people are, empower them and also talk to them, reorientate them. A lot of people have been exposed to this kind of indoctrinations or doctrines since their formative stage. They grow up with it, and it is difficult for them to detach from it, except a striking new orientation comes in contact with them and helps them to detour the manipulation from their brain. It's not spiritual, it's psychological. They have been psychologically manipulated to believe that if they don't do it, something will be wrong with them. So we have to start going out and start talking to people. We have to start telling them this is not right. This is wrong. This is not it. Jesus never said this. These ones are manipulating you. So all those 10% you are giving to those lazy bones called pastors and GOs and bishops, can you start saving them for yourself, for your family, for your business? And let us see whether your business will not grow better than the wretched life. And the funniest is that they make them feel that even if they are still poor, that it is the offering and tithe they are giving that is making them to still stay alive. They know how to manipulate them. Oh, you have not made it, don't worry, keep doing it. God is watching, God is taking record of all you are doing. In fact, do you know the reason you are still alive and you are not yet dead? It is your tithe. Your tithe is life. At least you are able to steal money to feed. God is the one doing it. It's not you. It's not by your power. Manipulations. I have not been paying tithes since 2012. This is 2020. I'm better than many people paying tithes. I'm not aware Dangote pays tithes. Bill Gates pays to who? But you, where they pay tithe, how far? Can you just take one step backwards and ask yourself this question? Okay, what if I want to rebel? What if I don't want to do it for a while? Let us see. Will I die? God is not a Christian. God is not a Muslim. God is God. God is a spirit. And it says those that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. Adeni G though, okay, inbox me. We can do it one of these days. God is a spirit. Those that worship him in spirit and in truth. Not in tithe and in offering. Not under the hypocrisy of I dey pay my tithe. So, all these manipulations have got to stop. Otherwise, shebi we are poverty capital of the world. Nigeria will soon be the hellfire, and you don't even have to die to go to hell anymore. Look at our roads. They ask us to be praying. Look at the roads. And we have been praying since how long? There's no electricity. As I speak with you right now, I'm using video light. My laptop will soon go off. And we are the prayermost country in the world. It is the same us that go to pilgrimage. We go to Saudi, we go to Jerusalem, we go to redemption camp, we go everywhere. We go to Nasfat, we pray, we pay tithe, yet we are the worst. To do the same old thing, the same old way, and to expect a different result is in fact the best definition of madness. It's time to change from all these old ways. Who are using your funds to buy private jets and private mansions, and they feel entitled that they must never go broke, instead of kakakomo leti won ma jo aradugbo ti ni oni sinmi, and so they resort to threats like this. Covenant with who? Where did we sign it? It's pure manipulation. Government will force you to pay tithes. They will not do anything in return. Pastors too want to milk you dry. Kilo shele gon. But I don't even blame them. It is the people that they are manipulating that owe all the fault. And it's so wrong. It's so wrong. So we need to start teaching our people not to fall for manipulations anymore. It's very wrong. God does not use your money. He doesn't even need it for your approval. For God to approve you, He doesn't need your money. In fact, these ones have deviated from the message of personal prosperity through tithes and offering collection. So they have ignored the message of salvation. It's no longer about salvation. It's about servicing their flamboyant lifestyles, which they created through your tithe and offering. Jesus does not need your tithe. You are also a man of God. If you can realize yourself, God is a spirit. Those that worship Him in spirit and in truth. I'll continue to do my street outreach, empowering people 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 persons at a time, and also teaching them not to no longer be fools. They should not be fools. any longer. I'll take comments now and then we round it off. But this is also to remind those of you who were following up on our Push Start project. I'm supposed to do this in a separate broadcast and I still will, but just a quick summary on that. We decided to make it monthly because the support we get, we don't want people to be tired. If we decide to do it every week, not everybody has the capacity to do every week. Now we want to go out to a web designing and creative institute. We also want to go out to a photography training center to see how many people we can support and also give them speeches like this to reorientate them that once we set you up to start doing something for yourself, do not go and be given to some lazy people under the manipulation of religion. Then also, I recall that there are people who go to churches and the kind of message they hear in their church. I don't want to mention name. I was in one church recently. I don't want to mention the name. The kind of preaching you hear, you can already tell that they are emphasizing and supporting crime. I have a Bible with me. Kingsley, I have a Bible with me. Do you want me to bring it out? Just a second. Let me play this in case you think I'm just joking. I read Bible. I'm a Bible scholar myself. Just a moment.
And free yourself. Make you shine your eyes. And free yourself. Free yourself from the slave. Listen now. Oyedepo come deceive us, deceive us, deceive us. Then come bring down Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Even the story about Jacob.
My ancestors make you save us.
My people make gonna wake up.
All right. The person who asked whether I have a Bible, this is my Bible. Can you see? This is my Bible. Aside from the soft copy I have hard copy Bible. It's just to convince you. That's a trial convincing you there. So I cannot be manipulated. So go ahead with the question. I'll show you that I have a Bible in the house here. Okay? So now back to the point I was making. We are teaching people not to fall for religious manipulations anymore. At the same time, we are trying to empower people because it is only people who are poor that can be manipulated easily. For instance, who will collect 2,000 naira? Who will collect 2,000 naira or 4,000 or even 5,000 naira to go and vote for a useless party for the next 4 years or 8 years? To go and waste away their next 4 or 8 years voting for a useless party. It must be somebody to whom 5,000 naira is a big deal. Okay? 5,000 naira must be a big deal to you for you to vote away your rights. So if you can empower people, let's see how many people we can draw out of poverty so that crime can reduce, ignorance can reduce, and people can increase in self-dignity. Okay? As a result, you can now have a better country. Because whatever you want to do, whether you are looking for Biafra, Arewa Republic, Oduduwa Republic, or revolution, you can't do it in isolation. If you don't carry people along, it will almost be futile. But to carry people along is not easy. It is either you are paying heavily for it, or they themselves are already good financially, so much so that they don't even need you to pay them, but they can understand where you are going and they want to follow you and join you. The reason we have people divided against each ideology every time is because people are waiting to be paid to decide where they want to go. See, no matter how much you criticize anybody today, the moment they roll out bullion van again and start distributing 3,000, people will still follow them. So the only antidote to that is to draw as many as you can out of poverty. It will not be as quickly as now, but if you can draw up to 1 or 2 million people out of poverty in the next 2 to 3 years, you would have done a lot of work on the psyche of people. Money flows every day. People buy things they don't need every day. But if you can rechannel some of this into drawing people out of poverty, you would have done a lot. Because if you are talking to people and you are giving them, Jesus Christ fed people and preached to them, the impact is there everywhere today. There are churches, even though they are now using it to manipulate people. But that magic was a lot. You saw that people were hungry, you fed them, and you spoke to them. What you are talking to them sink. And they also reason with that what you are saying is actually correct and true. And in addition to that, you are still feeding them, or you are still empowering them. You will achieve a lot. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that is let me try to take some comments as I round off. Solutions say I don't know where we get such. I think it's in continuation to one comment earlier. On Facebook, Adewale says, but how do we draw people out with major capital and investment? It doesn't have to be major at once. We already start something that we decided to make it monthly. I'll come back on another live show, maybe tomorrow, to announce the next phase. And I already gave a preview of it. We want to go to a web designing training center and photography training center. We want to see how many we can give laptops to help them in their web designing. Those that cannot afford laptop but are training for it. How many people we can give, even if it is just 3 or 4 laptops that are cheap, to support them. We'll be drawing some people out of need, and we'll be empowering them to start something. Then for the photography, those that are training but we do not have, we can give them some cheap cameras to start with. Once they start using it to work and make money on their own, they can buy bigger ones by themselves. So that's why we call it push start initiative. Okay, so let me go to other comments. So please, if you want to reach out to me, maybe for more information on this Push Start Initiative project. Some of you have been seeing the videos we started uploading already about our going out to talk to people, reach out to them, feed people, and also give them empowerment to get started on their businesses. We are also looking to start training people, particularly train people and empower them, so that they will not be falling for cheap scams like all these. The church is also a YBNL center. Yahoo boys run those churches, but they don't just use laptop. They are YBNLs, progenitors of the YBNL movement, and also manipulators and MMM. So the church as we have it today is an MMM. It's a gamble. It's a scam. It's a hoax. Okay. KK says there's no man of God in Nigeria. Well, there are men of God, but they are actually not in churches. Yeah, there are men of God, but they are no longer in the churches. Men of God these days are the people doing the right thing. Even Jesus said it, that if you want to look for me, or you want to give to me, look for the poor around you, among you, and give to them. That way you have given to me. So they are men of God. Adeniji, those is the religious communities. Sorry, I missed that. Somebody says my attack is on church. Okay, Benjamin Olatunji. Okay, I know that character. I'm not. Okay, somebody says pyramid. Thank you for giving me that phrase. Pyramid scheme. That's what it is. Church is not a pyramid scheme or Ponzi. MMM. I want to say YBN. Okay. Anyways, let me not drag it too long. That's my WhatsApp number. I thank you all for your time. I'm going to catch up with you again. Possibly tomorrow we shall be doing another fundraisers for the next phase of projects we are going for. Those of you who already have, the contributions already available at you, and you may begin to send. Some of you already have the account. Please start sending so that tomorrow when we want to announce the next phase, we will mention how much we already have, and then we can take it from there. Once again, I want to say God bless you, and may you never run dry of resources. Let us start with redistributing wealth instead of giving to only one person who will use it to buy private jets and mansion for their own selves, while they leave the rest of the masses in poverty. Bye for now.
Oh yeah.
I dey vex so.
Safari.
On the door. I dey vex. I dey vex. Some they call me pagan. Then they say I be Satan. Cause I believe I be winner. Stop calling me a sinner. If you truly believe in the church, as I don't want to know. If you really believe in the mosque, me I don't want to know. If you believe in the pastors, as I don't want to know. If you believe in the imam, me I don't